Hey everyone, welcome to our project. I'm going to start off by talking about where we got our data. We decided to focus on Worldbank indicators, so I'm just going to Google that. And this will give you a long list of various indicators. We decided to focus more on technology. We were specifically interested in research and development spending at different nations, and also the percentage of high-tech exports for different nations. So as an example, I will click on one of those, and here's the download data section, and you can download it as a CSV. So once you have the CSV downloaded, you can open it up with Text Wrangler, and you can see it looks like this. We have country name, country code, indicator name is what we're looking at here, and it gives a lot of years. The interesting thing about our data set was there are a lot of null values for years that haven't been recorded, especially when you look at historically. So given that, we focused our analysis more on the last 5 to 7 years because the data is a bit richer.
Alright, so for the next part of our presentation, we'll be looking at Holden, so basically the database that's up at PHP MyAdmin. Let's see, so first we have to get to the actual site. There we go. Okay, so here we are. You can see that we have a few databases over here. Let's look at these drop downs. Alright, so here we have our database. So we just named it project. Here you can see our tables, continents, indicators, indicator records, and nations. So let's just look at one of these tables. Alright, as you can see it's empty, so we'll just look at the structure of the table. So this one's pretty simple. Just have the ID designated as an int, of course, and then we have the continent name as well. Something that's a bit more complex is the indicator records table. Let's look at the structure. So we have ID, and then the value is a float because we have a lot of like decimal points to deal with. And then we have the year and the nation name and the indicator name. Yep, so that is what the database looks like up on Holden.
The next step we were to build up our 3 tables for indicators, continents, and nations. We first connect to our database, and then we build our insert queries. This is for the indicators table, and the next one is for the continents, and the next one is for the countries we are interested in. So we only build tables to include countries that come from 46 countries. So we will next import our data for the indicator records table. We first of all of our data files are saved in the FTP server, and then we access the data files using csv.dictreader, and then we use the raw.pop to reformat our data files. We focus our interest of years to 2007 and to 2012. Then we are also interested in just a portion of the countries. Next, we just use for-loops and if conditions to insert data into the MySQL. And we also do the same steps for the other 3 data files. Then we got the database we want. And then we use the terminal to execute our queries. And the database will show out like this. For the continents table, we have 7 continents name and plus region, like the European Union will be labeled with region. And for the indicators tables, we have 4 indicators, and each one with its value tab, measured against, and short name. We use short name as the one we would refer when we connect the tables. And this is the main table we have for it's called indicator records. In this we have the value, the years, and nation short name and indicator short name. The two short names are foreign keys for this table. And for nations table, we got the nations we are interested in, and with the continent name as a foreign key. And nation short name is just convenient for us to refer to this observation.
All right, so now that you can see that we have all of the data in our database, we'll now talk about exporting it again into a CSV format. So the code looks a bit like this, pretty familiar, connection information, and then here you can see we sort of open the cursor and then we build an SQL query using this placeholder sort of syntax. And then let's see, so for this specific query, we just want maybe the nation names and we've joined all the tables together. That's what all this is down here. We want to look at 2008. So we're just selecting the nation name, the specific value for that year, and then we also want the full indicator name in our data. So we have the fetch all results down here, and then of course it creates the exported CSV file using the dict writer. So basically that's that. Let's run this query real quick and see what happens. All right, so it looks like it probably worked. That's pretty cool. All right, just a moment. Okay, so through some magic, we were able to find the exported CSV right here. Okay, so we're gonna open that, see what it looks like. Yay, and it gave us what we wanted with our query. So here we can see nation name Argentina, for example, high technology exports, and then the percentage value. Let's see here, scroll down a bit more. So here we have research and development expenditure, and down further, some more sort of socially oriented indicators. So we have share of women employed in the non-agricultural sector, as well as female to male ratios of tertiary educational enrollment. All right, so that is that.
So now that we have our data in CSV format, we're going to open up Excel and start doing some analysis in there. Let me open up my downloads real quick. All right, so I've clicked on the export file in my downloads folder and it is coming up as this simple data set. So easiest thing to do from here would be to create a pivot table with this data. So go to data, pivot table, and it auto-generates a pivot table for us. This is currently summing the number of data points, which is kind of nonsensical. So we're going to change the count into an average. So it's going to give us the average of each country for each of these 4 variables. I'm not liking how this table looks, so I'm going to switch the columns and the row labels. This way you can see each of the variables and then the countries are listed to the left. All right, so next we're going to do a visualization of this data. So I'm going into charts, selecting columns, doing this one, and let's expand this chart so we can actually see because we got a lot of data on here. It is giving a summary of each of the 4 indicators we are tracking for each of the countries we're looking at. Now to clean up this data a little bit, we have grand total, which is summing these, so that doesn't really make sense on our chart. So let's get rid of that. Select data, and then in series, I'll go to grand total, go to remove, select OK. Additionally, I'm seeing a blank column that's coming up as light blue. So let's remove that guy. Data. And blank is down at the bottom. Remove it. Now we get a cleaner looking chart. Still a lot of countries. We also have continent data in our database, so I think next, after looking at this, I'd probably do an analysis by continent. But here's a quick overview of country by country where each of the indicators are coming in at. And you can see some, just looking at this visually, you can kind of see a trend that certain indicators are high when others are high, and other countries where you have lower ones, they kind of bundle together lower.
It's a great term.
Yeah, so that's going to wrap up our analysis. I hope you had a good time following us through on the project, and we will see you guys later.